Welcome back to Spirit 4. Spirit in action. Let's activate that spirit now. There are things that are part of activating spirit. They're curiosity, they're creativity and courage. As we're curious, it moves us into being creative, and then we choose from a place of courage to bring action to those things. Passion is what's the underlying energy of this. When you get passionately excited about something, that is your spirit saying, yes, yes, that thing, yes. That's an alignment with your spirit. When you feel that, you know that you're home inside yourself. Do that thing. Go there. Make that happen. Say yes to being creative. Say yes to curiosity and pursuing meaningful, fulfilling ideas. Things that are projects and goals that are true to your heart. This takes us back to mind, when you were doing your purpose statement and you were setting your goals and action steps from that. So this is about designing purpose from this place inside of you, this spiritual core. This is the place that is you. And when something feels really good and resonant, that's your spirit, that's your essence of you saying, yes, you're there, you're on purpose, stay there. Sometimes it takes courage to say yes to the things that show up that we're asked to do from this place inside of ourselves. Take a breath in, let that breath out, and say yes to being courageous and trusting. Because frequently, trust is the thing that we need to be courageous. In fact, that's pretty much what that's about. Trusting that whatever comes from the choice we make and the action we take from this place of resonance, wherever you land, and you might be unexpected to you, it's going to be the right place. You don't always understand why, but look for it because it's there. The reason it's right will show up. One way I live my creativity is by writing what you're reading now, by writing the words I'm saying to you now, or just by opening up my mouth and speaking. That too is creativity for me. Some days it's super hard for me to sit down at my computer and type and write. But my inner guidance says to me, keep going. This is the right thing to be doing now. Keep going is the mantra I frequently hear from my higher power, through my intuition, connecting with my gut. So I do that. And I continue creating something that feels important to me to share. And when that timer goes off, and I have to set a timer to keep myself mindfully focused and mindfully present, just like we do in meditation. But when that goes off, I feel really fulfilled, knowing that I'm following my inner guidance. And that's what this is about. This in turn keeps me coming back to the work. I am trusting. And I know that as I stay in each present moment, just one moment to the next, I'll go exactly where I am intended to go, and I'll do what I'm intended and guided to do. That's a trust that I cultivated over years of just doing it, doing the next right thing, even if I didn't understand it. And as you do this more and more, and you see where you end up, and you see how good you feel there, or how right and resonant it feels to you, though it may be difficult and challenging, that trust grows, and it all becomes easier. The thing you might be doing, your creative idea, your project, only has to feel important to you. I want you to really hear that. This thing that you choose to do, whatever it is, only has to feel important to you. This is not about what anyone else thinks. This is only about what you feel and what your intuition is telling you to do. You feel your intuition. So what is it saying to you? Trust that. You're the only one in your way. If you fill yourself with negative self-talk, if you start thinking about the reasons why it's hard or you could not do it, you could choose something else, that's the other side of that coin. That's where you're not listening to your intuition and your spiritual core. That's that ego. And it's okay for that side of you to have a little conversation and you say, okay, that's enough of you. We're not going to hear any more from you now because I'm choosing to go with the thing that feels good. I want you to know it's normal. You figuring this out with you, that's the only job you have. Keep saying yes to the things that feel right to you. And remember, this is about you with you. Creativity can look like a lot of different things. You may like to twirl around in your living room just because it feels really good to you. And maybe you try on different patterns in different ways. You are being creative that way. Maybe you're also curious about how many times you can do that over and over and not fall down. Your creativity and your curiosity can show up in a lot of ways. This is both of those energies syncing up to lead you into more fun and more fulfillment. This doesn't have to be big, passionate projects. Creativity can show up in large and small ways. Maybe you're doing a masterpiece painting to hang over somebody's fireplace, or maybe you are twirling around in your living room, or maybe you're going to go for a walk and decide to take a different course that day, go up over a different hill in a way that you haven't done it before. You'll know when you're coming from creativity. You'll know when there's curiosity walking alongside that, and you're fulfilling your guidance from inside of you. It's going to look different ways. Just be open to letting it show up and say yes to that. Say yes to the inside of you. That's what's important about this. Our spirits want to be fulfilled. They want themselves, which is us, to live a fulfilling life of meaning. This is a spiritual response to doing all these things that fill us deeply. And this is where happiness comes from. And wherein lies that happiness? You have a spiritual response. This is why we have curiosity, creativity, and courage. Together, they lead us to discover what fuels our passions and how to live that fulfilled life that brings us happiness. So let's look at 2 happiness skills and practices here to get in touch with that. And the first one is, what lights your fire? What lights your fire? Okay, now what comes up when I say that? What was the instant thing that showed up for you? What lights your fire? In this section, there are going to be some places in the book that you can fill out things that light your fire. What are the topics that get your juices flowing? In conversation, what do you get passionate about? Is it saving the planet? Is it respecting animal rights? Is it teaching meditation in schools to kids? Maybe you're passionate about science or religion or art. Maybe you're passionate about meditation. What are the things that really light you up? Okay, so your first invitation is to fill out the lines with the things that really light you up. And remember, this is just for you. Write it honestly, write it authentically, be vulnerable. This is you working with you. It's okay to show up with yourself. It's safe here. Okay? Okay, right next, why you're passionate about each of these things. So is it landed for you that you were passionate about taking care of dogs at the shelter? Why? What's underneath that? What are those deep values, or what is that sense inside your gut that feels so activated by that? Write some more about that here. Each one, you've got some numbered lines here. So add that information next. And then as you read back through those first 2 writings you did, what comes up as you think about those things you've written that you want to actually take action on? This is the action part. Write in detail. What do you move to do right now just based on this exercise? And you can do this over and over. Now remember, you can do stuff over and over and over again because life is fresh every present moment. It's going to change. And this is just where you are right now. So this is why if you don't want to write on the pages in the book, you can write in your journal and complete this exercise by writing, yeah, I want to call a shelter tomorrow and I want to see if I can just volunteer there 5 hours a week. What came up? What do you want to put in your planner and take action on? Okay, so the next one is looking at your unattended longings. This sounds similar to the last one, but this is deeper. This is like a yearning. What's inside of you that's been percolating, maybe even since you were a kid, that was a longing? For some people, adoptees, for example, there's a longing to connect to their parents or their families or learn more about where they came from. For some people, there's a longing to have a really meaningful conversation with a family member, perhaps a parent, because you've never done that. Maybe there's a longing to simply paint every wall in your room a different color. Longing. It's deep inside of you. It may take a little more quiet presence with yourself to check in and see what's there. Or maybe you've got it. Maybe oh yeah, I've always had a longing to X. Maybe I have a longing to be brave enough to learn to play the piano and do a recital in front of people. What's your longing? So now this is another list. You write it in the book or in your journal. Write anything and everything, and be crazy, be real, be vulnerable, show up, and write this list. What do you long to do? Okay, is there anything more? No? Is this complete? Okay, choose one or more if you want to say yes to and focus on right now. And again, refer to Mind 5, the Moving Forward Fearlessly section about how to set your goals and your action steps so that you can activate and bring this into your life. This is a longing. This is a yearning you've had. Wow, let's give yourself that gift. Yeah, that's showing up and loving yourself. Way to go. You can totally do this. Okay, so the summary. What lights your fire? Did you check the box? Did you write on that? In your unattended longings. What's there? Did you take a look? Do you want to schedule some action steps around either one of these or both? Take a pause here. Spend some time with this. And when you're ready, I'll look forward to seeing you at Spirit 5, which is our last subsection of the book. You're doing great. Keep going. This is good stuff.